da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Your book of life will buy you a mile except in my free mind will keep me from under your spell. And when we die, you'll be another angel in heaven, but me, I'll be a fucking legend in hell. Your book of life will buy you a mile except in my free mind will keep me from under your spell. And when we
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Going.
And here we are. We are now live for another episode of Still Toking With. And we have an awesome lineup with us today. As always, we have the Honorable Ben.
What up?
Senior Jeff.
It's cooking out there, boys.
And
girls.
Ben, would you like to
Girls.
introduce our awesome guest?
No, I don't want to.
So, yeah. Why don't you just introduce yourself, Eric?
Well, I'm Eric Martin, cannabis activist, former NFL linebacker / defensive end. Played with the Patriots, the Browns, the Saints. Played in the Canadian League for Toronto and Winnipeg. And I retired and pursued cannabis, and that's how I got introduced into the cannabis community. And ever since then, it's just been fun.
All right. So, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sorry, everybody. This is the Eric Martin show tonight, so we're just going to sit back. We're going to watch him do his. No, I'm just kidding.
So, no, I do have a question. I'd like to start off with a question for you.
Yeah.
When you were playing, were you using cannabis?
Was I using cannabis? Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I was probably the heaviest smoker on my teams, on the teams I played on. I smoked with basically anybody who smoked was probably hanging out with me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of helped me, before and after the game. So I show up to the games high, and then I'd play, played well, and then come home and do the same thing. So it was just like drinking water for me. It was always beneficial. It never really hurted me. It kept me relaxed before I went out there, and because I was always nervous to hit somebody. As much as I like hitting, the first one is always the scariest one.
So wait a minute. So you were nervous to hit people. You.
I know, believe it or not.
The man that helped pave the way for rules and regulations in the NFL and collegiate sports was afraid to hit people.
The thing about football is, man, you don't know nobody's strength until you actually hit them. So that's the thing. Like, you can watch somebody on film and be like, man, that dude looks strong. And then you hit him and you like, oh, he's not that strong. But then there's some dudes where you see him on film, you like, oh, that dude ain't that strong. But then for some reason, when he play you, he want to be the Incredible Hulk. So, football is a weird sport, man. It's like it's just like you always got to respect the person lined up in front of you. It's just like, boxing, all of them, you got to always respect the game and never,
absolutely.
Never be overconfident,
Sorry, Jeff, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. I wanted to ask. Yeah, so do you think using cannabis helped you perform better, emotionally and mentally?
Mentally, yeah, mentally and physically. I mean, I think physically, it just helped with my recovery. Even during the game, if I'm smoking during the game, I can feel, if I get hit, it doesn't hurt as bad as it normally would because, I just got that I'm just naturally, relaxed and calm and, going through my, high phases. So as I call them high phases, because, because, sometimes you just hit a point and it's just like, you just focus on whatever it is you're doing, people who, smoke a lot and work, they'll tell you like, you do it and then you work and you get focused. And that's kind of how I was. I was just, locked in.
Well, I saw an interview with you in that you were originally prescribed like opioids, and you chose cannabis over opioids, which is, I'd imagine a hell of a lot smarter way to go because there's such an epidemic and such a, it's destroying people's lives, and to find, a way to help yourself, rather than going a dangerous route is very commendable.
Yeah, the opioids, man, is rough, man. It's rough on athletes because, especially when most of the leagues aren't okay with cannabis, man, it's kind of hard for athletes to decide how they want to, heal their bodies and, what's best for them. So, most of them take the opioid route because that's the only route that they're given. You know, they don't really understand cannabis. And I'm gonna tell you from an athlete standpoint, most athletes don't understand cannabis, especially football players, because we just so focused on football, and you know that lifestyle being a football player is just so it takes up a lot of your time. So you don't really get to do the research on, you know, stuff like cannabis and stuff like that. So, you know, I didn't know as much as I know now. I didn't know that until after I was done playing. While I was playing, I didn't know, you know, what the benefits was. I just knew that it made me feel good after hitting somebody real hard. So, so now that, you know, these athletes are starting to understand, you know, CBD more, they're starting to learn a little bit about CBD, you know, eventually, you know, they'll start to, you know, want to become part of it more. You know? I feel like the NFL is holding back because of a lot of the they don't want athletes getting sponsored by it, because once that happens, then it opens up another market for a way for these athletes to make money, and it's going to force them into, you know, it's going to back them into a corner where they say like, man, we got to let these players use it. You know, now they're getting sponsored by it, making money off of them, you know. So that's just kind of where the NFL is. I feel like right now they're just kind of in a situation where, you know, they don't. I just read an article recently about how they about how there was no scientific proof that it benefits athletes, and you know,
Really?
that's so annoying to hear.
It's funny that you say, you know, because I actually read an article earlier today where they said Major League Baseball was considering lifting the ban.
Oh, they did. They took it off.
They did. They actually did take the ban off on.
But I don't even think they was testing for it in the first place.
Well, but still, I mean, it's a step in the right direction with professionsional sports.
What MLB player got suspended in the last 10 years for smoking pot?
I don't know. Has there ever been one? But you see where I'm going with that. You know, it's the professional sports platform, let's call it, because you've got, you know, multiple sports. You've got hockey, football, baseball, that basketball thing there, soccer, you know, but it's the whole mindset that cannabis is illegal, it's bad, you know, and you kind of just touched on that with the NFL part, but seeing that Major League Baseball lifted the ban on it, do you think that's just the beginning in professional sports?
Yeah, but the thing about the NFL is like they're the biggest organization in sports, you know. Yeah, so it's basically up to them to keep control of, you know, what goes in and out of these players, you know, what goes into these players, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like MLB lifting the ban, that's not really going to do anything because, like I said, Major League Baseball isn't, you know, it's not the most watched sport in the world, you know.
If the federal government legalizes it.
Now, if the federal ban is lifted, well, then the NFL definitely can't do anything at that point because now it's not part of the. It's not legal. And you got to think like the NFL isn't it a nonprofit?
The NFL.
Yeah, isn't it like a giant Isn't it like Isn't it like government controlled? A little bit. Y'all don't think so?
Yeah. I was going to ask you that.
well, because you got to think, man. It's if they're saying it has a lot to do with like the federal stuff. You know, they have to lift the federal ban. The NFL said that if they lift the federal ban, then they'll allow it. So it's like if this league is allowing alcohol, you know, to be advertised on Super Bowl when there's 5 million viewers or however many viewers it is.
Yeah.
You know,
they actually shoved alcohol down our throats during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they won't allow cannabis. It's just it doesn't make any sense. It's just something's going on. Some private meeting is happening where they're just trying to like not let this go by. You know.
Fair enough.
Well, it's only a matter of time before it's legalized. It's you know, we're just going through some hurdles right now.
Well, the government's not going to have any choice.
Yeah.
They're just not going to have any choice.
No.
All right.
No, yeah, I don't think they they'll lift it eventually. It'll take a couple years.
Well,
but
I was trying to be a Leo.
yeah, actually, before Benjamin, not
With
to turn
tongue.
not to turn this into political or anything, but I was reading more on what Bernie is recommending. You know, now that presidents have the ability to do a executive order for things that they feel are, you know, need to get done like right now and bypass the Senate. His day one is legalizing cannabis. So fingers crossed, everything goes well. You know, but Benjamin, you had an item.
Darren Miller said hi, Eric, along with a bunch of other people saying hi.
tell Darren I said, "What's up? What's up, Darren?" Shout out to Darren.
The NFL is a trade association.
Trade association.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Thank you, Darren. Now we'll have to talk football when you come on for your show about cannabis.
And
yeah, all I was going to say is, you know, we touched on that. Let's move past the political shit and go back to why we're all really watching this, and that's to learn more about this awesome athlete sitting up here in the corner. The other sexy eye candy lady. So now we have Leo down in the left. Well, on the left, and then we have Eric up in the corner over here. So let's bring this show back into where it was supposed to be.
Well, that's only your mind and what you think it was supposed to be.
Well, no, but you know me, when we start getting into politics, I just want to like fucking throw a rope up there and hang myself here live on the news feed for you. So,
what are you doing? What are you doing these days, Eric? What are you doing?
I got a few things coming up.
Ain't playing football.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, this body's done. This body's retired. This body's only for cuddling.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I got a few things coming up. One in Maine, with Janet McAllister's. We're doing an Easter egg hunt.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's April 11th, isn't it?
Yeah, April 11th. Yeah. And it's in Maine, and it's to support kids with suicidal thoughts. You know, to help kids through
suicide prevention. Nice.
Yeah, to help kids get through. You know, kids that are suffering from depression and stuff, and having suicidal thoughts. So I thought that was very interesting to be a part of. And I got a couple other things that are coming up. I haven't really booked them, but yeah, they're on the way. We're getting them put together right now.
So can I get back to the egg hunt for a second?
Absolutely.
If anybody wants to donate eggs, plastic eggs filled with little toys, you can get them on Amazon. Just go to Hippie Chick.
Yeah, Hippie Chick.
Yeah, Hippie Chick.
Still plenty of time. Get her some eggs for these kids for their Easter egg hunt.
Yeah,
Janet, donate as much as you can. That'd be great.
Janet's doing an amazing thing up there in the community.
She's doing amazing.
And it brings us back to you, because you do a lot of amazing things for a community as well. Not just the cannabis community. So tell us a little bit about some of the other things that you are thinking of. Nonprofit.
Yeah, so I was so I'm thinking of starting a nonprofit, of course. Yeah. I've always, I've had it on my mind for a couple years now. I just gotta go through with it. But yeah, I've been wanting to start a nonprofit for mental health, for mental health within athletics, within children, everything. I think mental health is it's a hard disease to find, like depression and that kind of stuff. It's a hard disease for somebody to even talk about. People don't understand what it is. People don't understand that they have it. People don't understand that they're suffering from it. And I just think it's one of them things that really need to be talked about more, especially among our minority community. I think that they have a lot, they especially even with the cannabis community, it's just a lot of stuff going on right now that a lot of people need to come together. And, it's just a lot of fighting and a lot of people being sensitive to stuff. And, people just need to be able to, dish it and take it. And but also, understand that they're dealing with, a lot of stuff going on. And it's just hard for people to, even myself, man, like I didn't know I was depressed. I've been depressed for a while, and I didn't even know I was depressed. Everybody see me, I'm always smiling. Sometimes they see me dressed up, blah blah blah. But I face my battles too. People, people always think being a Super Bowl champion is, everything that it could possibly be. But at the same time, that next year, me being done, that being my last year, and it came to such an abrupt stop. I faced a lot of depression issues, faced a lot of issues, wanting to still play, wanting to still go out there and, be an athlete and do all that good stuff, but realizing that I can't anymore and that I have to find that next step. So that was, that's some of the things, that's some of the, the drive that I have towards, doing this nonprofit for mental health.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to keep us in the loop of that, because if we can help spread the word, or even I know your agent Michael, tries to book you at various events and stuff like that. If we can help the two of you, with the nonprofit and spread the word, and we'll definitely do that, brother. We'll definitely do that. Speaking of Michael, he posted the Easter egg hunt link up on my show notes. I don't know if Leo got that as well.
I did.
But that's up on the show notes for you people. And Michael, I know you're watching and listening. Eric said he's missing something in his hand. That was a hint.
Oh, anyway. My God. Nah, you good, man. Man, I've been doing it all day. Like I say, y'all woke me up. No, I knew it was coming. No, I knew I had this today. I still did it because.
Well, yeah, you posted like 7 hours ago on the feed. Can't wait, So yeah. I was like, oh, look at that. He's actually paying attention. I think he'd still be sleeping. Awesome.
So we had a quick question in the chat room here. William Pace is asking, Eric, did you play with Kevin Falk when you were on the Pats?
Kevin Falk?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Eric was.
I know he was a running back, right?
Yeah, you were 2013 to 16?
Yeah, I was 2014 and 15.
Yeah.
I was only there for a couple years. Yeah, I think Kevin Paul was a running back, and he was before.
I think he was before. Yep.
Yeah, so many people go through the Patriots, man. People always ask me, did you play with this guy? And I'm like, look, I'm pretty sure every player that's ever went into the league, at one point in time came through the Patriots practice and got released.
Well, let's touch a little bit on your actual, your football career. You grew up in California.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you play high school?
I played 4 years in high school. I didn't play much before high school.
Yeah.
So no Pop Warner or nothing for you.
I did Pop Warner. I think I did it for a little bit, and then I didn't like it, so I quit because they had me at like fullback or something. And I didn't want to play that, and I just didn't, But then I got to high school, and I don't know, I just turned it on.
started wrecking people.
Yeah, I ended up playing middle linebacker, and I just was a monster.
Yeah, you went to high school for Rancho Verde.
Yeah, Rancho Verde. Yeah, it was in Moreno Valley, California.
Nice.
Yeah, my school was we had a bunch of athletes come out of my school. Tyron Smith was probably the biggest star to come out of our school. He's the left tackle for the Cowboys.
Yep.
He signed that $100 million deal. Yeah, so Tyron actually, he used to pancake me every practice. So that's the reason why he's kind of the reason why I became the player I was, because that dude was that size in high school, and I played middle linebacker and he was left tackle. So anytime they ran a ball to the right, he down block on me. And yeah, he used to tag me up. So over time, I kind of grew it and kind of helped me and built me. But
Nice.
yeah, I ended up getting a scholarship to Nebraska. I chose Nebraska over a few schools, few Pac-10 schools: Washington State, Arizona State. Um, I had Boise State, USC, UCLA. I had a few good schools. But I chose Nebraska because I just felt like they was like the most football school. You know,
Mhm.
when I
Yeah.
went
Okay.
there, I was just like, man, I just want to focus on football. I'm trying to, get to that next level. So when I took my recruiting trips to Arizona and to Arizona and Arizona State. And believe it or not, Rob Gronkowski was my host at Arizona.
All right, I'll tell you right now, you just made my wife's night because Gronk was like, Gronk. Oh my God, it's Gronk! Ah! You know.
Yeah, he wasn't, but it's funny because like he was my host, but like he didn't really host me. Like we just went to a party and he disappeared.
He
I
hosed
was like, yo, what is going on? So yeah, that was but that was fun. Yeah, I took a trip to the Arizona schools and I was just like, man, it's too much partying. I'm gonna get lost in here. But I went to Nebraska. It was no partying. It was snowing. I was like, yeah, this is probably where I should be. Just perfect. It's all football weather. Just go out there and play, and I'll be all right. But when I got there, I ended up enjoying college a little more than I thought because I was just a little boy coming from California, from hard parts of California, and now I'm getting exposed to college life. So I enjoyed it. My first 3 years, I just really enjoyed college.
Yeah.
Just living the life. And then my senior year, I buckled down. I realized this is it. I need to focus up. So my senior year, I blew my knee 2 weeks before the first game. Didn't play in the first game. Didn't play. Was a backup in the second game, and I still ended up finishing off the season second in our league in sacks.
Yeah, you did.
And I went undrafted. I didn't go to the combine. I just did my pro day. I did super well in my pro day. Ran a good time. Did all that good stuff just to make it. I didn't get drafted. I was supposed to get drafted. Crazy story. It was kind of depressing. It's probably one of like my heartbreak stories. This is probably one of the saddest days. But I was the draft day came, and so I'm sitting there, and I knew I wasn't going the first day, but I knew I'd get some calls or something. So the first day went by. I'm like, all right, no calls, no nothing. That's good. I'm not mad, but whatever. Hey. So then the second day came, and I'm like, all right, let me, get ready. So I'm sitting there. I was sitting in the same seat all day, and nobody called. I'm like, man. So then the third day came, and around the sixth round, I get a call from the Jets, and the Jets what was his name, Rex Ryan at the time.
Rex Ryan. Okay.
Yeah. So Rex Ryan called, and he was like, hey, we got a pick in the seventh round. We either gonna get you or a fullback, and this is in the sixth round as the sixth round is going on. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, it's either you or this fullback from Wake Forest. And so I started looking him up. I'm looking at all his stats. The dude was just like average. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of better than him, so maybe they'll pick me. And seventh round came, and the Jets was on the clock, and I was sitting there like, oh man. So I remember sweating, like just having this random sweat come. And I ain't get no call, and then they end up picking the fullback from Wake Forest. I was so mad, and then they end up calling me at the end of the draft, and they were like, hey, we want to bring you in for to be an undrafted, free agent. We're gonna bring you in. I'm like, what? After y'all just told me y'all was gonna draft me in the second round and then didn't draft me, now y'all want to bring me in? I was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, I'm gonna go to the Saints. So I ended up going to the Saints. That was different. I was down there in Louisiana. It was hot, super hot. I just remember that's all I can remember is just it was so hot that when I put on my visor, I had a visor on my helmet that every time I put it, as soon as we walk outside, the visor would fog up. So I had to take it was so hot I had to take the visor off my helmet and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of my memory of being there. I also gained 15 pounds because I was in New Orleans, and the food is amazing. So from May to about August, I gained 15 pounds, and I got released the third game, the final preseason game, the last one I got released right before the last preseason game I got released, and I just remember walking in Sean Payton's office, and he's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good." I was like, "I already know what's up." Like, don't ask me how I'm doing. I already know what's up. He's
Where
like,
am I going?
yeah, he's like, "Hey man, I just wanted to say it was nice meeting you, nice getting to know you. I hope you do well out there." Da da da. Sent me on my way. I was so mad. I'm like, damn, this is the second time I done got played by this crazy league. And that's when I realized, like, man, this league is like such a business, and it'll break you down emotionally. It'll like challenge it'll challenge your heart, basically. You sit there, you feel like you did everything you could, and then you still fail. And you might have another chance, but you're not 100% sure because they don't tell you. You don't know what's gonna happen. You just go home and just hope for the best. So when I got released, I hopped on a plane, went home, and I chilled I just sat at home, and I was like, man, that was probably my last snap of football. So I went back. I just started looking at the game on TV, and as I was watching the game, I get a call, and it was like, my agent was like, "Hey, the Browns want to pick you up," and I was like, "Oh, for real?" He's like, "Yeah, they want to pick you up, so get ready." So then I flew down to Cleveland, and I loved it there. I don't know, it was weird. Like I was so mad I was still like so mad from getting released by the Saints that I don't know. I just went up there with a chip on my shoulder, and I played my ass off up there, in Cleveland. I did so much, just listening to the coaches, doing everything I can to, make that squad, showing up super early, 5 a.m. in the meeting room before the coaches is there, just doing stuff like that to let them know that, I want to be here and stuff, because I didn't want to get released no more and have to, catch a flight back home and do all this, go through this whole pain again, so, that's when you really buckle down and just be like, let me just do everything right. So, that's what I did, and it lasted for 2 seasons. Unfortunately, sometimes this is part of the business too, is, you get a coach that come in, and regardless if you're a good player or not, if you just don't fit their scheme, they find a way to get rid of you, which is kind of what happened to me. Had a new coach come in, and he ran a different scheme. He didn't really need stand-up linebackers, like stand-up pass rushing linebackers, which is what I am. He needed to like hand in the ground DM pass rushers. So, that's kind of what got him to get rid of me, and I ended up going to the Patriots. But I think I ended up going there because we had played them earlier that season, and I had torched them. I did. I remember playing them, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, out of all the teams that I just want to annihilate, because I was a Ravens fan, because of Ray Lewis and stuff. So like the Patriots used to always smash Ray. So I'm like, out of all the teams we play, if I ever play the Patriots, I'm gonna make sure I play extra hard.
Isn't that just seems to be the way it is, right?
I did. I ended up doing really well. Had like 2 tackles on special teams, and I almost had a sack on Brady. I almost hit him too, and it was crazy because the play that I almost hit him was the play that Gronk blew his knee out that year when he got hit playing against us. So yeah, it was but it was fun. I ended up coming to the Patriots, and my whole attitude changed on them. I realized I was in a whole different, because when I was with the Browns, man, I was having fun. I was just getting my work done, but now I was going out having fun. Being a young guy with with a pocket full of change. So. But when I got to the Patriots, I realized, dang, now I'm in a whole different ball game. Now I'm dealing with, with serious guys. These guys take this, it was a whole different environment when I came in. From the time I walked in, it was just like everything was serious. It's kind of like walking in. It's kind of like walking into like a lion's cage. Like, dang, this shit is serious, And
So, Dom, is Bill a little bitch?
Huh?
Is Bill a little bitch?
Is he a bitch? Nah. It's funny. I only talked to him probably like 3 or 4 times the 2 years I was there. He's a very interesting coach. He's the way he coaches, the way he preps. It's just way different than all the other coaches.
Cool.
But yeah, after I went to the Patriots, I worked and got to the Super Bowl.
Actually, I just wanted to butt in here for a second. Remind everybody we're talking with Eric Martin. If you have questions for him, just post them in one of the many chat rooms we got going on, and we'll get to it as best as we can. And also, this show is brought to you by Deadly Grounds Coffee, our awesome sponsor. It takes care of the hosting for us, which makes this show possible for you. And
absolutely.
Here's a zombie, if I can find the right button, talking about coffee.
Yeah. Quick break.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds Coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds Coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And we are back. That was Deadly Grounds Coffee. Information in the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. The most amazing coffee you'll ever drink. Chocolate, what is it? Death by Chocolate. That's my absolute favorite. They also have a chocolate raspberry, which is amazing. The pumpkin I drink year round. And actually, I'm down to my last bag, so I got to place an order. They don't really sponsor. I just, I whatever money comes in, I'd use that to buy coffee. Let's see.
More of a bard.
What's that?
More of a bard.
Totally. Tara Hopper says, "Hey Eric, do you like mushrooms?"
On my salad, of course. Yeah, who wouldn't like mushrooms on their salad? She knows that I love mushrooms on my salad. It enhances your salad. It gives you that uppity feeling.
Hippie Dave says, "I've never seen any of that coffee when I lived in Boston. Actually, Deadly Grounds is a Connecticut local roaster, and you can normally find them at a lot of the cons."
Do I like mushrooms? Terry, it's funny.
And Ben, I think that's your wife posted a comment. I don't know if you want to read that.
His.
Oh, we can't hear you.
His mic is down.
I hit the mute button. I muted myself.
Yeah, I was about to say we can see your lips moving.
It was that Chinese. I was doing the Chinese movie impression. No, my wife made a comment earlier when we were talking about your start in football and things, and she said, "Are you going to tell Eric that your daughter played Pop Warner with the boys?" So she used to play the D line as well.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. She started off on the E squad, went all the way up to, I think she played 1 year at A, realized that she was becoming a woman and decided that was enough. But I'll tell you, man, for a girl on the D line, like you said, it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of work. I mean, we were at the football field 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And even when they had their off days, they had walkthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to that. Which brings me to another. We'll get back to the Super Bowl part because that's kind of an interesting part.
Oh yeah.
but it brings me back to what you said earlier about the injuries. Now she played, like I said, she played a lot of years and she got her fair share of injuries, but she never got a concussion playing Pop Warner. She got 2 concussions in school.
Yeah.
Dropped the eraser, picked it up, hit her head on the desk, got a concussion. Jumped in her friend's car, hit her head, got a concussion. But playing football, she never really experienced that. And from watching your highlight reel, I'm pretty sure that you probably gave your fair share of concussions.
Yeah, I was a bruiser.
I looked up your highlight reel and I saw one in particular where you actually got in trouble. We don't really need to get into that, but what it did is it helped collegiate sports and the NFL start looking at those types of hits, and implementing new rules and regulations to help protect the players.
Exactly.
Which
is a good idea. It's the best. It's one of the better things they can do.
Absolutely.
You really can't stop it, but you can slow it down. So.
Right. Yeah.
It's the best. That's the best I can say for that. Cause
well, yeah. I just wanted to touch a little bit about because we were talking about football and things like that, but concussion protocol is huge in football, which we all know.
It's gotten a lot bigger, and concussions it's just so hard to diagnose, man. Especially when you got an athlete out there that don't want to come out,
right?
That don't want to, You got a lot of macho men out there, and it's not
football players are macho man. Come on.
It's not a bad thing, but it can be, once you get to that one hit that that you need to come out for, my second concussion was by far my worst one, and from what I can remember from that one, when I got hit, like the hit was so clean. So I was in practice and I was running to the ball, and the running back, as in practice we do is called thudding up, which basically mean like you kind of give him a shoulder. You don't really like hit him and bring him to the ground, but you hit him hard enough so he know that, that we in the NFL. So, I kind of gave this dude a thud and kind of tagged off on him. And one of the D linemen was running to the ball, chasing him down, and I was the first person there. And so as I tagged him off and let him go, I turned around, and as I was turning around, one of the linemen was running towards him, and he tripped over his own foot. And when he tripped, like the lead of his helmet, the crown of his helmet hit square on my jaw.
Ooh.
And you can like on film, I just remember watching it on film and my body just turned into like a noodle. It was kind of like the weirdest hit, but it was like perfect and square. And from much of the hit, the only thing I remember was just touching the running back and then turning around and everything is going black. And then I remember my eyes opening as I was like falling, and I caught myself as I was falling. And I kind of got up and I looked around, and I was just like, man, this don't feel right. Everything kind of felt like a cartoon, kind of like I wasn't in a real world, but I was like in the real world, and I can like hear the whistles blowing, but it was like, elevated, and, I'm trying to like shake it off and just shake my head, and I'm trying to think about the play. I couldn't even process the next play. My teammate is telling me to play, and I'm hearing it, and I know what the play is, but I can't process, what to do, in the time. And so I was just out of it. And I remember my coach, so like the play went on and I ended up just running to the ball. I didn't even do the right play. I just ran to the ball because that's what defensive players do. And my coach, I came to the sideline. He looked at me and he was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He was like, "You didn't even line up right." And I'm like, for real?
You lined up on the offensive side. What was you doing?
I lined up right. I just didn't line up in a hole I was supposed to. And he was just like, he knew that the only way that I would mess that up is if something was wrong. Because,
right.
you know, it's simple. We line up in the same spot. So he was just, he's asking me if I was all right. And he can kind of see that my eyes was kind of like looking out into space. And he was
A little
just
glazy.
like, yeah. So the trainer walked over and they shined the light in my eyes. And he was like, you know, you need to come with me. So we left practice. And when I got to the locker room and I took off my helmet and pads and stuff, it seemed like everything started to set in. And like I started getting all these symptoms, like the light became too bright. I could barely see. People was talking, but it sounded like it was coming through like a what's some little loud things called?
Megaphone?
Yeah. So it was just real bad. It got to a point to where I had to sit in the hotel room for like 2 weeks with no lights, no TV. And I had to do that every day for like 2 weeks before I can finally do something. But the good thing about that was during that time, I was eating edibles. I couldn't smoke. I really couldn't smoke because it was hurting my head. But I was eating 200, 300 milligram edibles every day. And then going to go do treatment, which was basically come in and tell them how I feel and then go back to the hotel room. So
yeah,
it was it's just an interesting, them concussions, they're definitely no joke. And you know, anybody who suffers from them will understand that even the after effects are pretty harsh. You know, sensitivity to light is what I deal with. I know people deal with a lot of different stuff. But mine has always been sensitivity to light, just like in the mornings and throughout certain points of the day. If it's too bright, I'll be able to tell, you know.
Right.
So,
wow. All right. So basically what we just did, folks, is before the break, we were talking a little bit about Eric's history in football and things we led up to the Patriots and almost to the Super Bowl. And then I threw the fucking rewind button in there on you. So we're going to bring that back to the fast forward button. Let's bring it back to being part of the Patriots Super Bowl team. You know, Jeff, do you have a question? Because you look like you do.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Right.
No.
Right. Any questions coming out there in cyberspace? No. Good. Okay.
no, it's all good.
I don't know if there is. I can't see him. That's Leo's job.
Leo.
Let's see. Hippie Dave. Let's see.
Hippie Dave.
Yeah.
Darren turned him on to us.
When I get these tires on the Harley after the snow crap is gone, I'd be over on the bike to see you and Amy and Matt.
So yeah, he's talking to Darren.
Oh, okay.
So they're having their own conversation in my feed.
Got it.
Darren's having a huge party, everybody. Everybody, we're going to Darren's house for a party. That's right after issue 3 comes out, is what I was told. So being part of a championship team in the NFL, I mean, what was that like for you?
You know, it was I don't know, it's just something that it's kind of hard to explain, you know.
Well, that's why I asked you to explain it.
I know. Yeah. So it's just like one of them things, man, where it's like you're just doing something you love. I mean, like,
right?
You're doing something you love, and then you get to like you become like the best at it, like the best, and you get recognized for it over, you know, a global platform. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of incredible. And then you do it with a group of guys that you just became friends with. You know, we all walk different parts of the land, and you know, we all come together and find this way to, you know, achieve this goal that's probably one of the hardest goals to achieve in sports, you know. So you know, I wasn't part of the Patriots from the beginning of the season. I showed up the first round of the playoffs. And, you know, I came from the Browns. So, you know, coming from the Browns, you know, I was heartbroken when I left the Browns. I'm not going to lie. I almost cried talking to them on my way out. I left a heartfelt message for Jimmy Haslam and the owner. He's the owner, and the coaching staff that was there at the time. But when I came to the Patriots, it was just like, I don't know, it was so weird because like they embraced me when I first got there, but it was like we was in a playoffs, so I'm like, what can I possibly bring to this team, during this time, because it's the end of the season, and so be it. I brought enough, I was a lot of people don't know this, but I don't really brag about it, but I kind of take it as, I think it was probably one of my best achievements for me, at least. But, I was practice player of the week every week throughout the time from the time I got there to the Super Bowl. And, being practice player of the week for the Patriots is not easy. Regardless of what people say, that shit is not easy because they take, it's so many players come in and out every day. You wake up one day, it's 2 players leaving, and then next day it's 2 players coming in. Next day it's 4 players leaving. So it's, surviving that practice squad for that long, it was hard, but I was able to do it. And then we got there, to the Super Bowl, and after it was I don't know, it was the confetti falling, man. I didn't even think it was real at first. I'm like, yo, there's no way that I'm like in the Super Bowl. But then, I walked out on that field and I seen them all setting up, and you get to see all that crazy stuff, them getting all the stuff ready, and then watching the game, watching the opposing players come out. We was playing the Seahawks at the time, so everybody there was crazy, like swole. Everybody get pumped up for the game. You get that feeling. So it's just like, man, I was just going through a lot. I was just, I had brought my dad to the game. My high school coach, I gave him tickets. And, I was just going through a lot. And then we was losing. And then we got to the point where we was down at the end zone, and everybody thought they was going to give it to Marshawn, and they ended up, throwing it to Malcolm. That was, I don't know, everything right there kind of paused. At that point, it was kind of paused because it was like, man, we really finna win. Because, when you lose and when you don't play as much, or even when you watching your teammates play, in that moment, you like, dang, I'm in the Super Bowl, but there's no way I'm finna walk out of here Super Bowl champ. Like, I made it this far, but there's no way I'm finna walk out of here Super Bowl champ. And then, like, that time is ticking. You down to that 1 minute mark, and you just, made an interception, and now, everybody's cheering and celebrating. I got a video of it, and it's just kind of crazy. The confetti falling is probably is when everything gets silent. Anybody that tell you, watching that confetti fall and having it fall, it seemed like everything around gets silent. Like, you hear people screaming and stuff.
Yeah.
People screaming, but everything just get like silent.
That's from the mushroom salad.
It's starting to like really fill in, like, dang, we just, we just won. That's crazy. And you start to see everybody, families walk on the field, and, everybody start landing the confetti, doing snowman. And it was just, seeing all your teammates celebrate. It's the first time, and it was crazy because, I showed up during the playoffs when everybody was mad serious, so I never really got to see anybody's like true emotion. As during when you're in the locker room and stuff, people, they kind of show their emotions and stuff, but you're just a football player, but you don't really get to see who they are until you're doing some kind of like activity outside of football. That's when you really get to see who a player is. And so, like, I didn't get to really see none of that because I showed up during the playoffs. So the only time I really got to see that was like once the confetti fell, and I got to see everybody's. I got to see everybody smile at the same time. I got to see everybody celebrate, and it was just crazy. It was one of them. It was just a crazy experience.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got to meet a lot of famous people. Rick Ross was the after party host. John Jones was there because he's Chandler Jones' brother. So, I got to talk to John Jones. That was probably that was probably fun for me. That was probably one of the most fun parts is chatting it up with John Jones because he's a monster.
Right.
But then just knowing that he's Chandler Jones' brother and you get to hang out with Chandler all day, every day, it was like that was crazy too. So, yeah, it's just all a lot. It was just all a lot to soak in, but it happened so fast, man. It happened so fast. It's like as soon as the Super Bowl over, next thing you know, we in April. Because that's the thing about winning the Super Bowl. The team that wins the Super Bowl, they have the least amount of time
to prepare for the
off season to the next season. So, as soon as we won the Super Bowl, we had a month to travel, and then we right back training again. So that's the luxury of being winners, that you get to work harder.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, it was but yeah, after that, the next year I ended up making a team. I was off-season player of the year. That was another accomplishment I was kind of proud of because I was able to, experience the Super Bowl, but then come back the next year and, really showcase my skills to them and, be the best player in the off season in terms of like training and stuff. And so that was probably another accomplishment that I was appreciative of. But once I got to, the season came and, we start rolling through the season, that's when, that's when it gets good. So, the season came, I started probably 5 or 6 games. Then I got hurt. I got my final concussion, which was another pretty bad concussion that I got playing the Texans. And that was kind of like my last career concussion before I was done playing. I ended up going to Canada for a little bit because I thought why not give it another shot? And then I was in Canada and I was just like, nah, it's just time to hang it up, man. You just got to know when your time is done, so
right.
It's one of the things you just got to kind of walk away from under your own. I could have easily played another 5-6 years and made a decent amount of money in the CFL because they don't pay bad,
Yeah.
But it was just one of them deals where I was just like, I was wore out. And
your health was more important.
Exactly. I graduated college, which was another good accomplishment. One of my better accomplishments too was finishing school while I was playing ball in the league. So that was another reason why I was like, I'm glad that I did that, knowing that my career ended up the way it did, So
Right. I mean, and you're not the only one. There's a lot of professional athletes out there that their careers are cut short.
Yeah.
Due to major injuries. Most of them are what you've experienced, which would be the concussions. Because 3 and done. After that third one, you're gambling with your life. You really are. And
really after the first one, you gambling.
Well, depending on the severity of them.
Yeah,
with the severity of them.
Yeah,
because
my hits was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, I saw the way you hit people, so I'm surprised you didn't give yourself concussions when you did that.
That wasn't a good idea. The way I used to play, man, it was fun, but it was not a good idea.
No, but that's, I mean,
but it was fun though at the end of the day. So that was all that matters, that I have fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, doing what you love, right?
Well, yeah, it's doing what you love and being able to accomplish your goals, your dreams that you set forth as an athlete, and to be on that stage. That you said, with the confetti falling and things like that. There are great athletes out there that play their entire careers.
Exactly.
Never get to that they never get to that stage. And it's usually because they played the Patriots. But sorry,
that's most of the reason why. In the last 20 years, you're right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one. I'm going to get some hate mail tomorrow, but it's okay because we still love everybody. We love everybody. So now being out of football, you've become a cannabis advocate, which we touched on at the beginning of the show. Is there anything in particular you'd like to touch on in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, I love talking about cannabis, man. I learned a lot over the last, 2 years that I've been just learning about it. I'm not a big talker. I'm more of a listener when it comes to, something that I'm not familiar with. So just that's what I've been doing. I've been listening to a lot of people speak, going to these cannabis events that everybody puts on, and working with a lot of different companies, cannabis companies, and they all tell me, they all teach me a lot, man. Every time I go to a different company, I learn something new, and
And
that's one thing you can never, huh?
you're trying products.
Exactly, yeah, that too, yeah, trying products too, yeah, that I love doing.
I was actually going to make a comment on
Yeah.
products because I looked
Any
over.
companies out there that need a tester,
I
I'm your guy.
looked over and I thought Jeff was kind of like slumped back in his chair. I was like, oh yeah, the strawberry kicked in. I can tell.
Oh, I kicked in a while ago, dude. Are you shitting me?
I figured it did because you've been so quiet tonight.
No, I've been here.
Oh, he's just listening.
Take that.
I'll send you the pumpkin.
But you are involved with a local company as well, correct?
Yes. Between the Row, I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Between the Row is. Shout out.
That's
to
why
Nate.
I did it.
Shout out to Nate and Averill and Mike.
Right, Mike.
But yeah, I'm working with them. I'm on their advisory board, so I've been doing a lot of work with them, just learning about them, who they are. That's one thing that I just got back from Texas probably about a couple months ago. So that's one thing I was, doing since I got back was just, hanging around more cannabis folks and, trying to learn more about what's really going on with the economic empowerment, the social equity, and the dispensaries, and just everything that's going on, trying to keep up with it. And that's how I met Mike, and then that's how I end up meeting Nate and Averill as well. So I love working with them. Nate and Averill was so
that's how you met us.
Yeah, and then the Toking Dead, exactly. So that's crazy because like the cannabis community, everybody that I've met in Massachusetts, like I know more people in the cannabis community than I know in like the football community than the sports community in Boston. I was living here, 2 years playing for. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of different, learning a new industry, learning something.
It's a big community, and 90% of it is loving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's with every industry. That's not just cannabis.
Yeah.
And because I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way that I think, 10% of these people are assholes. No, that's every industry. There's 10% in every industry that are in it for the wrong reasons. But there's a good majority of people here in Massachusetts in the cannabis industry. We could sit here for hours and name everybody. There's so many amazing people. There really are. We've had the pleasure of being part of this, cannabis community now for a couple of years, like you said, and we're finding the same thing.
Yeah,
we learn every day.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty soon here I'm gonna start growing, and I'm gonna have to enter these competitions and start killing some folks with the cannabis. I don't know. I've been learning how to grow. So
I'll judge it.
I'll judge it.
All you home growers out there, y'all better be ready because I got something coming on the market.
He's coming with the heavy hits. Eric Martin's premium cannabis, the heavy hit.
Whole hydroponics line and everything. Hydroponics. Gonna get into that? No.
Who am I gonna get into hydroponics?
Yeah.
Is that that's not soil, right? That's the other one.
That's the other one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna stick to the soil.
He's an earthy kind of guy.
I heard that I just heard some stuff about like hydroponics. Like if you mess up, it can kind of like you can basically, if you mess up once, you can like mess up your entire grow, for that time. They said with soil you can kind of like fix your mistakes, and I'm not a pro, so I'm not gonna hop into something where if I make one mistake that I'm done. You know, so, but yeah, hopefully, I mean that I heard hydros for like bigger scale grows as well.
Darren Miller made a comment. He said you got to come up with your own personal strain called concussion.
Yeah.
There you go.
Concussion. Yeah, that strain's gonna get a lot of flow. Yeah.
You get your level 1, your level 2, and your level 3.
Exactly. Yeah. Nah. We're not gonna want that, Darren. Come on, Darren. You know that. Not gonna want that.
He's like, come on, Darren, you know better.
The NFL definitely ain't gonna want that because they don't believe in that.
Careful, Darren, or we're gonna have Eric come on as a special co-host during your show and give you some shit.
You said go on Darren's show?
Yeah, we got Darren. Actually, we can announce it. It doesn't matter. It's up on the event page. 2 weeks from tonight, we have Darren and Amy Miller coming on to talk about his story. And Amy's going to come on and talk about his story from her point of view as well.
Nice.
He'll let her tell her viewpoint.
I'll make sure I tune into that and ask plenty of questions since Darren want to ask mad questions on here. You know.
Oh no! What I was saying is we'll get Michael to set the camera up for you, and you just come on like you are right now as a special co-host with us.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I'll come on.
You want to come on? You good with that, Jeff?
I don't know yet.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Leo, we can get what? We can get up to 6 on here, right?
Well, we can get more than that, but it gets a little hectic if you get past 6.
We can get up to 6 on here, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I know how many we can actually get up on the screen, but after 6, we're not playing Hollywood fucking squares, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
There was one show I did. I think we had like 12 people. It was an absolute mess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I bet it was. You got 12 people trying to talk and then the signal not coming in on time.
And there was one actress, Jessica Cameron, just a sweetheart, but she was in London filming at the time, so she's like walking around London on her cell phone while doing the show, and it was crazy.
What's that you smoking?
Something that's not good for me.
Huh. Y'all heard about the Pheno Cup?
Of course we've heard about the Pheno Cup.
Y'all gonna enter?
No.
Enter? No, we're platinum sponsors.
Yeah, we're sponsoring.
Oh, you sponsoring it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be in it.
You're gonna be in it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why wouldn't I be?
I thought you were.
I'm showing all these home growers up.
Do it.
Everybody's gonna have to be nervous.
Speaking of the Pheno Cup, are you gonna come? Are you coming out tomorrow night to the Summit Lounge?
Yes.
Oh well, then we'll see you tomorrow night.
We'll see you tomorrow night because we'll be.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. Right. Speaking of competitions, besides the Pheno Cup and of course we have the Harvest Cup. Did anybody else besides me see that NECAN is doing their first year judging categories?
Doing their first year judging categories.
Yeah, no, I just saw it before I got online. I didn't have a chance to really read it, but somebody had mentioned, hey, nominate me for a judge for NECAN's what the hell was it? I can't remember. It's they're doing like flour and edibles.
Yeah. Yep.
They're looking for people to nominate other people as judges.
Everybody out there vote for me to be a judge. You know, I'm always down to test anything.
Right. I just because you had mentioned the Pheno Cup, I just wanted to bring up, that NECAN is stepping into the ring with something similar, and I mean it's a great idea because it gets a lot of other companies involved that necessarily can't be involved in A, B, or C. They at least get a choice of trying to be involved with something. So,
okay,
yeah. I happened to see it earlier.
What you said it's for NECAN?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. NECAN this March.
Okay.
March 20th through the 22nd.
Yeah, the awards are actually going to be given out on the 20th. I think that entries have to be in by the 1st.
Okay.
That's what I read.
Yeah, NECAN's open that Friday, and then Friday night they have their awards.
The award ceremony, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, y'all better get ready for this Pheno Cup because I'm telling you, these homegirls don't know. I got Nate behind me, Nate helping me. I don't even understand.
I'm gonna kick
You know,
your
Nate's a good grower.
Listen, we'll find out when we get invited up to Between the Rows and we can have a little session, you know? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I just put that out there for you all. Little sample before the sample, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to come down to the farm.
Absolutely.
Get your hands dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff and I will definitely come down to it. I think we were talking to Nate.
No complain either. I don't want to hear my back hurt and stuff. I can't do nothing. Nah.
You're gonna hear that anyways. What are you talking about? I'm gonna say my back hurts when I get out of the car. Medicate me, please.
You're not gonna put me to work on the farm.
Huh?
I don't want to go to work on the farm.
Oh, come on.
That was the Steve Martin case.
You gotta earn it.
Right?
Where you gonna make me milk a cow?
Goats, baby, goats.
Oh, goats.
You're gonna be milking the goats. Okay. Actually, you can help Nathan give birth to the baby goat.
Nah, I can't.
No, Jeff can.
That's one thing I can't do. When it comes to the farm stuff, I can't do the animal side. I just do like the vegetables and.
I don't want to hear any complaining. Isn't that what you just said?
You definitely gonna hear complaining from me when it comes to cow poop and nah, I'm not interested.
You get used to it, actually.
Yeah, you get
used to it.
Carrot than pull a bull.
Say that again.
You'd rather yank a carrot than pull a bull.
You say I'd rather yank a carrot than what? Pull a bull? Yeah, I'd rather yank the carrot.
Okay.
The vegetables is all me. When it comes to the animals and stuff, that's just not mine. It's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and I'm just not interested.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to the picking up after them, the pulling the udders, nah, I'm good on that.
Oh.
He's like, I'm good on that.
I'm good on that. Y'all pass.
Carrot, thank you.
Huh?
I'll just yank my carrot.
Yeah.
I thought it was called snapping the carrot.
Yeah, just make sure it's your carrot. That's all I say.
Oh no, leave my carrot alone, dude. Wow,
Leo, you're blushing again.
No. I was just thinking. We had, I grew up on a farm, and one of my jobs when I was a kid, I had to shovel out the cow manure from. We used to milk our own, and just shoveling out the barn, and it's you definitely.
He got some bad memories. Look at the trauma that he just.
No, I mean when I drive by a farm and I smell, it's weird when I smell the farm manure. I have like fond memories.
Well, those mushrooms.
That is a traumatized man right there. You can tell he was talking about it. He was like, the manure. He's like looking up like, oh man, it's.
When I smell cow poop, I feel good.
No, it didn't.
Leo, you went there, Leo. Look what you did.
Yeah, I did. We used to my dad used to butcher turkeys as well, and we had like chickens and horses. Yeah, it was.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so you see a lot.
Oh yeah.
Horses?
What's that?
Horses too?
We had horses. Yeah.
He didn't butcher horses.
I was going to say he didn't butcher the horse.
No. Turkeys.
Well, I heard he butchers turkeys and chickens.
I was like, man, y'all was eating horses?
He's like, no, we got the glue farm out back, man. What are you talking about?
I might as well just lived off grid then.
Actually, horse manure I heard is supposed to be really good for your garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how we went from football to horse manure, people, but that's what happens on this show.
We go
to shit real quick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I appreciate you guys having me on here, man.
Oh no,
we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man, this is nice.
What was that, Jeff?
It's been awesome and great.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to come back on as a co-host in 2 weeks with us with Darren Miller, we'd love to have you. I'm sure Darren would love to see you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll probably have some updates for y'all too. So.
I'll give you a shot. We'll consider it an interview.
Dang, Jeff is really not for me coming back.
No.
He doesn't realize you're going to see him tomorrow night.
I know, right?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
I should.
I'm going to put him in his place.
Maybe I should wear some shoulder pads tomorrow too.
Well, I'm just going to wear my
loosen up the old righty.
So what were you trying to say?
Yeah, that would look really bad because you'd be hitting an old man.
Hey, as long as it's an old man and not a woman, you know.
Ooh,
I don't think public is gonna be too mad about it.
So before we get too far and too off track, if people are interested in booking you for charitable events or things like that, how's the best way they can get in touch with you?
They can. Most people know, but they can shoot a message to Mike most of the time.
Do we have Mike's information in the show notes, Leo?
You can try to get in contact with me, but
no, that's where I was going with it. I wanted you to promote your promoter.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can get in touch with Mike. You guys got his information up?
I do. Actually, if you check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, you'll find all the information that I got from Ben from the event. And also I have your Facebook and Instagram and also Michael's Facebook as well, so you can contact him. And all you got to do is look down below or up above and just click a link. It's that easy.
It's that easy. So we're going to strongly suggest that, if you'd like to have somebody like Eric at your event, to reach out to Michael. Eric's doing amazing things in the community with children, with athletes, with the cannabis industry, starting his nonprofit, people. So, is there, you got a hard stop tonight, Leo?
Yeah, 8:30. Okay. I'm logging on with the other guys.
All right, so we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up. Yep.
So you want to do your due there, Leo?
Sure. So you have been watching Still Token with our special guest Eric Martin, and as I said earlier, all the information is in the show notes down below or up above, and we urge you to definitely check out and support Eric and his future endeavors. And Eric, where do you like interacting with your fans? Is there any social media in general? Instagram, Facebook. Where do you like talking to people most?
The fastest way to respond for me to respond is probably Instagram. Yeah, that's probably the fastest way. That's probably the fastest way I respond. Most of the time, sometimes Snapchat, but not a lot of people got my Snapchat because I'm kind of private. So
yeah.
But yes, Instagram, shoot me a message. Most likely I'll see it. If I don't respond, maybe it's because your message was something that I wasn't interested in. So don't say nothing that's gonna make me not interested. Otherwise, you're gonna be mad because I'm gonna pretend like I'm not there. No, I'm playing though. But yeah, the best way to get in touch with me is through Instagram.
Awesome.
That's why I respond the fastest because I'm usually scrolling on there. So
cool beans. And then we got those links right in the show notes right there. Mr. Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Where do you like talking to people?
Where do I like talking to people?
Yeah.
I like talking to people. All social media. We're out there. My place is Facebook. Ben's the Instagram, Twitter. He takes care of all that kind of crap. You know what I mean? Facebook, I will be on there every day. I just like it. Email, you can email me. TheTokenDead@gmail.com. But yeah, go to the Facebook page. I'm trying to get the website built. I've been working on that, working on some graphics for it. It's a time matter at this point.
Oh.
When that comes out, I want it to be killer. So nobody's getting sneak previews of that puppy.
Except for me.
Yeah, and those are going to be far and few between.
We'll have to talk, Jeff. Ben.
So, as Jeff said, all social media, but like I say, every show, our biggest thing is come down to an event, come down to, a cannabis event, a comic event, a music event, whatever event that we may be at, that Eric may be at, that Leo may be at. Support the events. Get off your asses. Sitting down behind the computer screen all the time, just don't cut it. So we like to interact mostly in person, is what I'm fucking telling you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our next scheduled event got canceled.
Yeah, we won't get into that.
No.
But we will be at the Summit. We will be at the Summit Lounge tomorrow night for the Pheno Cup kickoff party. The official seed drop tomorrow night, first one. So if you're a grower, you want to be a grower and a shower, come down and enter the Pheno Cup.
Or if you just want to come in second place.
Well, yeah, you can come in second place. Hey, listen, if you want to come,
that's the only place everybody's getting. I'm the only first place winner around here.
All right.
Patriots, we don't lose.
Right. And I know we got to wrap this up, so I'm going to say it real quick. To all our first responders and our veterans out there, thank you for doing what you can do so that we can do what we do. Take it away, Leo.
Well said. And this show has been brought to you by the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got 20 shows on the network now. If you head on over to thedorkening.com, you'll find a bunch of information, some awesome people like Ben and Jeff here, and just tons of awesome comments.
So I'm not awesome? That's cool.
I mean, podcasts. You're.
I see how it is, Leo.
You're more than awesome.
You ain't been saying nothing this whole time because you've been hating on me.
Never. I hate nobody. I want to thank you all for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.